Welcome to Pocket Edition Episode 2 to my friends across the ditch in the United Kingdom, the lovely and salty Count, and the ever-fabulous Sarah. How are we today?
There's a mine that I'm slowly filling, so...
Fabulous. So it's a salt mine. That's where you get your salt from, correct?
No, it's where I put my extra salt. It goes into a mine so people can take it later.
Take it later.
Anyway, let's move past the salt. How are you, Sarah?
I'm good. I've been at work. It was crap. But then I've been playing Fallen Legion for my upcoming review, and it's very good.
Oh.
So,
is that a GameCast review?
Yes.
Oh, very nice. I didn't see you take that one. Look forward to that one, definitely. So what have you been up to this week? We were just talking about Pokemon. I'm going to go play Pokemon for the rest of the day. Have you guys been dabbling in Pokemon recently? Is this a dangerous can of worms to open before we chat? More Pokemon?
It might be again. Let's not try that again. What I've been playing today is actually a blast from the past, for me at least. It is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone on Game Boy Color.
Ooh, good game.
Oh.
It's the weird one. It's the JRPG one.
Oh, that is weird. Did that release side by side with the Xbox version, or am I tripping out? Did that come
Yes.
after? Okay.
It did.
And PlayStation 1.
That's interesting. Are they completely separate games, though? Because I can't imagine the Xbox One being a JRPG back then.
They are complete. The Game Boy Color one is completely different to every other version of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Yes.
No.
Including the
You
Game
can't.
Boy Advance one.
It really
You can't
is.
do that. That's a case of one of these games, right, where they just build a game based on the hype surrounding the movie, and they release it before they know anything about the movie, right? It's just a mood.
No.
No? Okay.
Fuck no. This game is amazing. I'm not even kidding. It's a really good game.
Oh,
it
shit.
holds up.
Wow.
Like, they've made a Hogwarts that actually feels like Hogwarts. It's a fully mapped out Hogwarts, like 6 floors, and it just filled with secrets and everything. And you look at it and it's like, this is more based on the book plot than the film. There's more book-related things in it, like Peeves the Ghost appears. And this is just great. I had the second one, was on Game Boy Color as well, and it was the same style, just with a different plot.
Oh, very nice.
And I played so much of the second one, but I never completed the first one because I got so far into it and I was desperately underleveled, so I could never win.
Oh.
So I started it again, and I'm now trying to level up better. I've just defeated the troll in the toilets.
Yay!
Very nice. I actually, this might be, probably shouldn't talk about this, but I actually haven't finished watching Harry Potter.
Read it.
Read it,
better.
read it, watch it. I'm up to the Half-Blood Prince. I'm going to finish, I think I'm up to part 1 and part 2, so I'm going to finish that, but I might have to check out this Game Boy game, because I am on a bit of a retro rampage at the moment. And I'm imagining in my head, being Game Boy, it will be very similar to the top-down Pokemon perspective, I'm hoping.
Yeah, pretty much.
Strolling around
It moves a
Hogwarts?
lot.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's not a grid-based thing. Movement feels very different.
That sounds cool.
And combat is extremely Final Fantasy, but it's with spells, and like the more you use a spell, you get a better version of that spell, and it's a really nice game.
Train your wizard.
I really enjoy it.
Yes.
Nice. I dig it. I've checked that out. Sarah, anything else you've been up to? You've just been playing Legion.
Pretty much.
Nice. So what is that? What genre is that?
It's kind of like a bit of an RPG, a bit Final Fantasy-esque. I don't know. It's very different. It's one of those sort of like flat 2D style artwork games. And it's more of a rail thing. So like you run, you don't control them when they just run forward. You just do the fighting. It's literally just fighting.
Oh, interesting.
But it's like, if you ever played anything like Odin Sphere or know of it.
Yeah, I know of that, yeah.
Ooh,
That sort of art style and kind of feel. It's like a less in-depth version of that. It's a bit more basic, but it's still really nice. And my cosplay senses are tingling slightly because the character designs are lovely, really pretty.
Oh, good. I'll definitely have to check that out. As soon as you mentioned Odin Sphere, I'm like, ooh, okay.
Yeah,
I'll
Odin
be
Sphere
watching the
is
review 100%. Yeah,
gorgeous.
done.
Odin
You have
Sphere
me.
is
You have
good.
me 100%. Is it single player only?
Yes it is.
Ooh, okay. Well, there's no microtransactions. No microtransactions count. So why don't you take us away, because you have the topic of the day, and tell us what we're talking about today. Bring the salt.
Excuse me, I'm going to have a mental breakdown.
Take cover.
So, the topic for today is microtransactions, but more specifically, can microtransactions ever be done well? And I'm going to argue that they currently have not been done well enough. There are some where I consider it nearly good, but 99% of the time it's pretty damn bad, in my opinion.
Just watching kind of the trend, I don't play every video game under the sun. I'm certainly not exposed to every game that does employ microtransactions, but I have played a lot of games back in the day, like League of Legends, which have done microtransactions very well as a free-to-play model, and they did the microtransaction stuff very well. The game's free, you buy your characters if you want them, or you can grind to unlock your characters. That's great. I think that's a good way to do it. But in my belief and understanding, I think we're reaching a point where microtransactions started off, I think, in a fairly good space, and we've slowly progressed to this point where they're infringing more and more upon the game.
Yes, exactly. And that is the crux of why they're wrong.
Yeah, 2 games come to mind immediately for that, and that is Shadow of War, which we all had a dummy spit about a while ago, and it's still unclear as how much those loot boxes are actually going to infringe on the game, whether, it is really going to be pay to win in a freaking single-player game, which is ludicrous, or, well, I think it's majority single-player, and Destiny 2, which is that's another big one, which I think is still, in my mind, I won't condemn it or say too much about it until I actually get hands-on time with it. But I know you and Wesley specifically have very differing viewpoints on this. Wesley firmly believes that it's fine, it doesn't infringe on the game. But Count, why don't you throw us what you think of at least the Destiny and just loot boxes in general and the current state of microtransactions?
Okay, first of all, I'm just going to say sorry if I offended Wesley in any way. Just going to put that out there. I might have worded things...
It was a fairly tame...
Yeah. It was. I could have worded it better, but still. Anyway, yes. My personal view on... Let's go with Destiny 2 specifically. My personal view on Destiny 2's system is that it's... While it's not pay to win, admittedly, because of the way it's all done, but the microtransactions, the loot boxes in Destiny 2... do sometimes contain items that actually affect gameplay. That is my very specific issue in this instance. Because aside from the fact it's microtransactions in a full-priced game, which I never agree with, because if you're going to use the assumption that, the games cost more to make now, so we need to do it. No, just charge more for the game. I'd be happy if your game costs this much to develop, that charging $60 won't pay for it anymore. Do one of two things: charge more for your game or spend less. It is very simple, to be honest, and you could just that's the easier thing to do, and you're just using a different system which just exploits people, basically, especially people that have addictive personalities, and especially in the case of loot boxes. Yes, because loot boxes in particular do this because they're like slot machines. It's like gambling addicts. If you've got an addictive personality, you're very likely to become a gambling addict if you go into casinos.
A little bit of a side tangent. There's actually an interesting piece that you can find on YouTube where it goes into the ins and outs of how Destiny employed gambling-like tactics to keep you hooked on the loot system. So that is a very real thing.
Yes.
And it's interesting as well because microtransactions do seem to have taken the form of loot boxes in recent history. That seems to be the space that they're existing in inside the game in, real currency situations. But Orange or Sarah, what is your take on this? Are you for loot boxes? Do they annoy you? I'm kind of in the space where I'm okay with them existing, and I might even buy some from time to time, but I'm still on the same side as Count in the sense of if they weren't there, I would probably be all for that as well. I think just charge more for the game and just don't have them. But I'm very much in a grey area. Like, I'm not worried about people progressing further than me faster. I'm okay to go along at my own pace. Maybe that's because I don't have the time to pump into video games, so I'm not kind of as competitive maybe. But what's your take on it?
Well, I've come across loot boxes a bit in my gaming time, and it strikes me as something where freemium games are a big starting point, I think, for boxes and buying stuff, microtransactions, because obviously the game is free, so they have to make their money somehow. Otherwise, it's too kind. But I kind of feel should you not just charge for the game in the first place if you're going to do that anyway? But each to their own. My personal vendetta that's turned me against microtransactions, mostly in its entirety, although I do let some things slide, like Overwatch I think is okay because it's all cosmetic stuff and I'm not really that fussed about it, so I open one and I'm just like, yay, loot crate, don't really care. But the biggest thing I came up against was a mobile game called Love Live, if you've ever heard of it. School Idol Festival. It's a rhythm game.
Right.
In my household...
Oh, no, they made a freemium game of that thing?
In my household, that has been the world's biggest disaster. Because it's free, obviously, but to get the girls you want, the cards you want, you have to scout. And you can collect like the love gems that you use to scout throughout the game. But as you get higher leveled, they get harder to get, obviously. And so then you start to get to the stage where if you actually want to scout, you need to buy the love gems that you need.
Oh, yeah, that's not cool.
They also whopped the price up on them lately as well. So it's now...
So they basically strong arm you into, if you want to progress, you need to invest.
So if you buy one box, one scout, you get like 11 cards and only one of the cards is guaranteed to be like a high level good one. It's about £28 for one scout.
Damn, no, that is not good.
That soured me to any form of microtransaction ever, because I did a couple of scouts when it was a little bit cheaper, and I have bought one or two, but it got to that stage where, like you said before, gambling came in, and you do the scout, you paid the money, you get nothing that you wanted, it's total garbage, and you get really disappointed, and you're like, I want to buy another one because this can't be it. There must be something better on the horizon.
Yes,
and
that's
then you
what it
start
is.
to go,
That's the addiction, isn't it?
Really?
Yeah.
Am I going to spend £50 on this now? Fuck no. I'll go buy a new fancy game on the PS4 or on PC for that. Sod this free game. Bullshit.
Just you wait. I mean, it can get so much worse. Just you wait until Borderlands 3 comes out or the next Call of Duty with zombies and have those mystery boxes. Just wait.
Yeah.
Oh, it will. Yeah, Call of Duty's going to have mystery boxes. You fucking bet your life. It already has microtransactions.
Yeah, you'll be in-game, and I guarantee instead of just tapping X and rolling the mystery box, it'd be like, hold both triggers and give us $1 and we'll give you a higher roll rate of pulling out, the ray gun or something like that.
No, they're good. Yeah, the problem is, if they do that, then it becomes actual gambling.
Yes.
And they have to be charged. That's because this is where loot boxes are a little bit insidious, because they just skirt under gambling laws. Although they don't in China, because Overwatch has to reveal their probabilities of getting things because of China's laws.
Yeah, Love Live had to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how it works in there.
In your mind, to start to wrap it up, what is the ideal situation for employing microtransactions or loot boxes? And I guess, we've touched on this a little bit, but do you think they're necessary in the grand scheme of things for turning a game into a profitable situation? Or do you think that argument's just a crock of shit? It's just publishers being greedy?
Crock of shit.
Okay, crock of shit. I tend to agree as well. I think it's milking as much as you can from your investment.
I do.
Which, in a business sense, I understand. If I was in their shoes, maybe I'd be doing the same. You want to make maximum bang on your investment. But what is the ideal situation for you in terms of, loot boxes at least?
The thing is, I'm just, before I do that, they threw out any credibility of them saying that it's going to be a legitimate business practice when they started calling people who buy lots of microtransactions whales and dolphins.
Oh, wow. Who said that?
Every bit of credibility. That's how companies refer to people who buy lots of microtransactions. That is genuinely the industry term. They call people who buy lots of microtransactions whales. Yes, exactly. That's fun. But anyway, microtransactions can be done right. Loot boxes can also be done right. And loot boxes are a very simple change. All you have to change in loot boxes is, 1, make the thing that you're getting only cosmetic. 2, make the thing that you're getting in the loot box just like you have the thing now. It's not like a one-time use thing, because that's just shitty. And 3, make it so that you can't get repeat items.
Yes.
Overwatch!
Yes.
Because that is what makes it worse. It's like you could get all of these things and you get, oh no, already got a thing. Oh, now I get a tiny amount of currency that couldn't buy you anything. Because, of course, that is what ruined Overwatch's loot box system, because amount of money you get for an item that you already have is so minuscule that you might as well not have got the item in the first place.
Yeah, and Destiny 2, I wouldn't be surprised if that's in the same boat with their engram system as well, because how many times would you unlock the same armor, weapon, all and over again?
Yes. Also, on that front, you know you can get the, is it the sprays for armor?
Yeah.
Yes.
You can get those in loot boxes. In Destiny 1, they were once you got them. Now they're one-time use.
Right.
So you get a spray, you can use it on one piece of armor, not like a whole set, one piece.
Ooh.
So you're paying upwards of between $10 and $50 to spray paint one set of armor.
Really making the most of it then. Right, okay, so that's a little bit greedy. But I think all in all, I think in terms of moving a new direction or fixing the loot boxes, I think I'm very much in line with you, Count. I think while I'm more or less okay with them being there, I think I have utilized, these systems before in the past, and it's not as satisfying. I prefer to, like you said, have them be cosmetic items. When I'm playing a game, I want to stand out and be unique. That's probably something I'd value more than buying something that could potentially level me faster than what is natural to the base game. That kind of undermines the accomplishment in my mind anyway.
See, what annoys me is that I agree to the most point. Because, yes, if you're going to get stuff in loot boxes, it should literally just be cosmetic stuff. But what also irritates me is if there's something that you really want. So, like you said, I want my character to look good. And you see something, you're like, I want that. You have to get it in a loot box. And God knows how many loot boxes you're going to have buy. I think they should also have the option where you can literally buy the thing that you want. I know it would ruin the loot boxing because people wouldn't do it, but if it was more expensive than a loot box... Yeah,
but the thing is, people like the surprise.
That's true.
I see, that makes sense. But then at the same time as well, you should also be able to get anything that you can get in a loot box within normal gameplay.
Yes, that's well. Because then
definitely.
I think it's
even if it's harder, that's fine. But as long as you can actually get it within gameplay, I have no particular issue with that.
That would be my request. Because, if I just want one thing... I will pay for the one thing, and then I can have it, and I'll be like, "Yay, I'm done." I'm not going to buy 50 loot boxes to get that one thing. I'll just sit there forever wanting it and just be like, "I hate this game," because I refuse to gamble and roll for it. I'm not doing it. No,
that's the issue. Exactly. That's why they're there, because people do that and they make a fat wads of cash on
it.
Yes.
Before we wrap, do we have any closing comments?
Brawlhalla is the thing I said that's got closest to getting microtransactions right.
Yes.
There are microtransactions within Brawlhalla, and they are on heroes and skins. However,
that's very much in line with League of Legends as well. So I think that's a very good example.
I think, while skins, have to be bought with microtransactions, correct me if I'm wrong, there's some things that have to be bought with the microtransaction
yes, they
money.
Do.
But all of the, you can... Like, the legends can be got either with the in-game currency, which you can earn through games slowly, or you can buy the money for the hero, or you can buy all the heroes outright for $15.99.
Yeah.
That's pounds.
And since it's a free game,
fair.
Considering it's a free...
Exactly. It's a
you
free...
can think that's probably how
it's
much...
a free game. That's what makes it fine.
That's probably how much you would spend if you bought the game £15.
Exactly.
So there you go.
Closing thoughts, Sarah?
Just to give us the option to be able to buy the thing that we want as well. Because I hate the fact that you can only get it through random. I don't like that. I think it's shit. To put it mildly.
It is shitty, yes. And I think probably my closing thoughts on this is, unfortunately, I think microtransactions and loot boxes are here to stay. And I think they're here to stay because we're going to keep putting money into them, because we're humans, we have addicting personalities. And I think because of that, until we vote with our wallet, which I think is going to be hard because of our, addictive nature, look at Destiny 2. We're all going to be on that loot crack. It's going to be very hard to stop. So I think it's going to be a trend for quite some time until it hits that tipping point where, like we had a few years ago back where games were launching broken, until there's enough outcry and the issues wildly recognized, it'll stay broken.
Yeah, there's going to be a tipping point where one publisher goes too far and laws get introduced. That's what I think is going to happen.
All right, well, that's a wrap. So thank you for joining me, Sarah and Count, on episode 2 of Pocket Edition.
That's all right. Thank you for having us.
Not a problem. And remember to, if you've liked this episode, to rate, comment, and subscribe. Leave your thoughts down below. If you liked Count, Sarah, or myself in particular, you can find our links down below in the description. You can find them on the GameCast channel, where we have a variety of gaming-related content, being news, reviews, and other podcasts. But other than that, we'll see you in episode 3 of Pocket Edition.